But if you can list 5 things about the Mavic Air 2 that you think are just incredible. Hey everyone, Bill the Drone Reviewer. If you find anything of value here in this video or on my channel, please hit the subscribe button. With that, let's begin. The other night I hosted Rotor Talk Live and was joined by co-hosts Marcus Crawford and Ron Braun. During the evening, we spent part of it discussing our 5 best features of the DJI Mavic Air 2 and our 5 worst features of the DJI Mavic Air 2. So without any further ado, let's roll that clip in its entirety. Mavic Air 2. We've been trying to get to this for a few minutes, okay? You know, we've seen a lot of videos out there, and I know Ron has done a lot. I know Marcus has done a lot, and I was gonna, and this was funny. I said, and I told him when we were going over notes before we started the show, I said, I want you to kind of give me your top 5 favorite things about it. Ron said one word: everything. Okay, so Ron's already answered the question. Ron's already answered the question, but we're gonna, go to Marcus and then Ron and myself. 5. If you get more than 5, that's fine. But if you can list 5 things about the Mavic Air 2 that you think are just incredible, go for it, Marcus.
Okay, so of course the HDR video is phenomenal. It really captures the low light situations and keeps from blowing out the highlights. Really works very, very well on that drone. Secondly, I'm going to say flight controls. The flight controls are phenomenal on that guy. And the way I describe that is anybody here that has a Mavic 2 Pro or Zoom, you know what a step up that was from the original Mavic Pro. That was a big step. I would say that the Mavic 2 Air is half a step above that, if that kind of gives you an idea. It's just a little bit smoother, a little bit more accurate. Next, I would say I do like that controller better than the old controller because of the placement of the of having your phone right there up above, and it's not blocked. You can get to everything on the phone, and then the active track is extremely accurate on there. And I'm not going to say that it's as easy to use as the Skydio, Ron, but it is easier to use than I think it was on the Go 4 app. It's because it's right there. You just draw a square around yourself, and it brings it up. And then the obstacle avoidance is not as offensive as it is on the as it was on the Mavic 2. In other words, it doesn't beep as loud. And I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not the sharpest pencil in the pack, but I watched Ed Ricker's video today, and I understood what all those colors are now at the top of the screen and at the bottom of the screen when it is in obstacle avoidance. That tells you where the obstacle is at. You see that little orange at the top of the screen? And it will show where it's seeing all the obstacles. Same thing in reverse. At the bottom of the screen, sometimes you'll see a little orange bar down there. That's the obstacle the drone was looking at.
Wow.
I just always thought that was something weird on the screen. I
learned something new tonight, Ron.
Yeah. I watched this video too, and I had no idea. And I never ever recall seeing those colors. Is that something that's enabled from the get-go, or is that something you have to do in settings?
As long as you've got obstacle avoidance enabled, it'll be there, Ron.
Yeah, I have obstacle avoidance enabled, but I have to go in and study that. But again, that was a great catch by Ed, and I'm glad you brought that up. And I don't want to butt in. Are you finished?
I'm done. That's my 5. It's your turn, Ron.
Well, I agree with everything Marcus said, so I'm not going to repeat the things he said because I agree with him all. I'll get more points in it if I just don't repeat his. And just real quick before I get my points, and sorry, I got a little bit of a throat here. When you mentioned about tracking and just like Skydio too, you don't have to dig down in a menu; it's just there on the top screen. Do you think that's maybe? Do you think they looked at the Skydio app at when it came out late last year, and that's something that they maybe said, well, we should incorporate that in our new app.
No.
You think that's been on the table for them for a while? It's the Skydio beat them to the punch and putting it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like you said, it's kind of a watered down version of Skydio's version, but I still welcome it. But
yes,
okay, again, agree with everything Marcus points out. Here's some of the things that maybe he didn't say. I love the HDR video, but I love the photos coming out too. And that smart photo feature is a real winner. It's much better than your typical HDR photo thing that you find on a lot of high-end smartphones, whatever. I mean, this takes a great, process image right off the camera for people that don't like the full with their computers. These photos are print worthy, right off the memory card. So I highly recommend using the smart photo feature for most of your photos on the Mavic Air too. And I like the the compact kit, the Fly More kit. It is a small bag. Everything, I can't say everything's there. I don't have the charging equipment in here, but when I go out in the field, I have everything I need in the field out here, minus the charging equipment. Light, compact. What I like this side handle here. If you're not a strap guy like Brian Singleton, you have this little handle here, which makes it perfect to pull in and out trunks of cars and hatches and so on. So, the case, the photos, and I had another point or two here, and I've already kind of forgot them. I'm sorry, people. I got jockeying around with Marcus on that, the follow me stuff, and I kind of lost. I think I had another a good point or two that I liked about it, but I'm going to throw it over the bill rather than keep stuttering here.
Well, if you think of them, Ron, let me know, but I'll go through mine, and I'm going to do a little show and tell here, okay? And these aren't in any order, okay? The controller for this, okay? It was just it was sheer genius on DJI's part to give you a controller with the look and the feel of the smart controller, because it holds in the hands so well. I mean, it's a natural position. It's just absolutely great. And what the second thing, my second thing is this, okay? A lot of people, think about the antenna here, guys, okay? There's no more having to flip down when you're going away, flip up when you're up, okay? This takes care of it here, okay? So this is my second thing, is the way they did this antenna. I absolutely love it. I think it was DJI just kind of hit a home run on this, because you don't have to mess around with this anymore. And, as a side note, and I would put this with my first one, is, having the cables stowed in here and not have to worry about it, okay? It's just, I think it's just absolutely fantastic for those of you guys who don't have it yet. That's where the cable is stored, and this is all in a nice, neat pouch. Again, that's my first two. One of the other ones that I really like on this, okay, it's the runtime on this. I can't say enough about it, because, as you know, I've done quite a few hyperlapse videos, and I know Ron and Marcus know, when you're doing hyperlapses, that is a battery eater, okay? That eats up a tremendous amount of power on your drone. And here I am. I did that hyperlapse of the sunset, and I was able to, I did a lap around the lake. I switched it out of, when it was done with hyperlapse, it was in normal mode. I did a lap around the lake, and I landed. I still had like about 35% battery left after that, okay? And that was like a 15-minute hyperlapse, all right? So, I mean, that has constantly impressed me, how well that takes that. And I have to agree. I think it was Ron talked about, I was going to say the smart picture, okay? That was just, I've taken several of them. I've used mostly the back of my house, but I just absolutely loved it, because everything looked very crisp, very clear. Like the detail on it. I mean, it was like, we have orange seat cushions on our patio furniture outside. The orange really popped on it. I mean, you could see it. I mean, it just jumped out at you. So it was like, wow, that was really there. So that, that smart feature, that's something else that I really, really like. Another one is, and I got to say this, is the DJI Fly app. All right. And the reason I say the DJI Fly app is this, is they may have taken something, the Go 4 app, and they've condensed it to something that is, it's what I call, it's between a total beginner and somebody who is an experienced drone pilot. Okay. It's you're not a newbie anymore, but you've gone up a level. And I think that's what they did with the Mavic Air too. You can find things, the ability to find things on this has been absolutely, positively fantastic. I mean, it's self-intuitive. It's very easy to navigate through. I've had no issues with it whatsoever. And I think for me, one of the other things is this, when I had it, one of my favorite things is having it in sport mode. Okay. And it's going to do this. Okay. You know that the drone is going to take a little bit of an angle down when it's going into sport mode. But I got to say this, I did that test with sport mode around the lake. I got it up to about 42, I think, miles per hour. And there was, except for the initial going down, that was it. That gimbal was rock steady. And that was a huge improvement over the original Mavic Air. All right. Now, conversely here, if you don't have 5, but that's fine. Things that you don't like about the Mavic Air 2. I know I'm going to put these guys on a hot seat right now.
Well, I only really have, well, I'm going to call it 3. Two of them I don't like. One of them is a wish.
Okay. Well, that'll work.
Yeah. So, and Bill, you and I, you know what I'm going to say. It's the stupid white lettering at the top of the app, so that if you're looking at the sky, you can't see what your battery reading is. You can't read any of that telemetry. DJI, please just change the color. It can't be that tough.
Right, and that's more of a knock on the app than it is the drone.
Yeah. That's true. Very true. Yeah, I guess the next one isn't really the drone either, and that's the bag. Hey, Ron, if you can hold your bag up there, so I think it folds the wrong way. The flap, it seems like it should go the opposite direction, and it's very awkward the way that opens up. So you can see where the zippers are. It feels like it should fold from the bottom up, but the way he does it now, you can see there. You got to kind of pull that over, and it's hard to get that open. And that is very nitpicky. I absolutely know that. The other thing that I was thinking of is I wish the drone had 360 obstacle avoidance, because the tracking is and the tracking and APAS are so good on that drone. If it had 360, it would be phenomenal.
Let me stop you just for a second. Keep that train of thought, though. How much more money would you be willing to pay for the 360 obstacle avoidance?
Another $87.34.
Okay,
that's my limit, Ron.
Point being is they had to get the $799. They had to shave stuff off. If they wanted to charge $100 more, $200 more, I'm sure it would have been there.
Yeah, that's a good point. I got one more, and Ted Bowman reminded me of that. I wish we had adjustments for the gimbal and the yaw.
Good ones.
That's it. I'm done, Ron.
I'm gonna just steal it for just a second, Ron. Our good friend Cliff Totten said no picture controls, contrast, saturation, and sharpness. Okay, so that's that. Thank you, Cliff.
That's a good point, Cliff. But again, kind of like the other thing that Marcus brought up, that's more of an app issue than.
Yeah, that's more of an app issue. Yeah. Go ahead, Ron.
Yeah. And I want to go out to my good friend Brian Singleton. I didn't say I necessarily like the bag. I'm kind of neutral in the bag. I don't like it, dislike it. But I mean the compact size of it. My Mavic 2 Pro case is more than twice the size of this. So no matter what you put it in, well, I mean, I guess you could put the world's biggest case. But my point is, it's more compact to travel with than the Mavic 2 Pro. whether you use this case or another small case. Cons, like I said, I don't really have a major con. I agree with both Mark's and Cliff's thing, but that's more of an app thing, so I'm not going to beat the drum. If you want me to talk about my major cons for Fly app, I got a big list, but I'm going to stick to the drone here. I guess the only thing, the small things. Yeah, I wish it worked with the smart controller, but it will. It doesn't prevent me from having a good time and flying it at all. And and I always have these points and I get to them. I'm just forgetting them tonight. So that's about it. Which works smart controller, no big deal. It will eventually. And it was another firmware update we're waiting for. Mark, help me out. What's the other firmware update?
Smart controller.
What's the second one? After that one, we want to see something.
Probably for the gimbal.
The Gimbal, yeah. I'm sorry, folks. I have all this stuff, but when it gets around to me, it's just going out of my head. So I'm going to throw it over the bill so I don't mumble and stumble around here.
No, I'm gonna. You know what? And I'll tell you what. And Ron, if you think of them, you can feel free after to interject here at any time. Number one, I agree with Marcus. That font on that app is just a killer. Okay, and that goes with the Mini too, because it's on the Mini. So. DJI, that's a real simple change. Just do it. Like Nike said, just do that. Okay. I know this is a personal preference for me. Okay. Now I'll tell you what. This gimbal cover, and I know you guys are okay with it. It's a real pain in the butt for me. Okay. Because I'll tell you what, the Mavic 2 Pro, a lot of people had problems with the Mavic 2 Pro. That was a piece of cake for me. This is a pain in the butt. All right. I'm gonna be upfront about it. All right.
Can I give you a little secret, Bill?
Yes.
You just slide it straight in. Don't try and hook those top two things.
Okay.
Slide it straight in.
Okay. I will try that next time I do that. It just seems to me it's just like, okay, I'm just for me, I'm like, oh man, this is just a real pain in the butt. And I got to go, one of the other ones is that flipping case. Okay. It's not only for the reason that Marcus said, because it should open the other way. That's the natural way. I don't know why they do it backwards like that, but everything is packed in there so tight. Okay. It could, because for us, we'd throw it in the back seat of our car in the back hatch. We're going to fly, whatever kind of a thing. Okay. And that stuff, it's so compact, something could happen with that. I mean, I'm just it's just one of those things for me that for me, I think they should have probably made, a little bit of an extra investment, put a little bit more room in there or maybe a little bit more cushioning or something. Cause it's just so absolutely flipping tight in there. I really think that. I also agree on the 360 obstacle avoidance, I would probably pay another $100 for that. All right. I'm gonna up Marcus on that one. All right. I'll probably pay $100, but seriously, having that. And now here's the thing with this. Okay. And this is the thing on the Mavic 2 series, a lot of times, depending upon it's only that 360 is only active in certain modes. Okay. It's not active all the time. All right. So I think, that's something that they need to work on going forward is when they say 360, there should be a way to be able to engage it all the time when you're flying, okay? Or shut it off, or say shut the sides off or shut the front and back off, or top and bottom. There should be a way to do that. There should be a way to toggle that. Now, I expect maybe we'll see something like that on a future Mavic series. I don't know, but that's going forward. And I would say probably like one of the last things is right now is there's been a lot of confusion, and there was, especially for me, and I know people have railed at me in the comments and stuff about ADS-B. All right. Now, my instances have been, I see it on the map. I hit the thing. It's not there. I expand nothing. Okay. And then I hear a plane and I hear nothing, and I've gone through the comments and I've talked about it with people and stuff. And I've sent it to DJI. They keep saying their team is looking at it, and I'm waiting to hear back from that. But I think they need to kind of clarify that. Go ahead, Marcus.
CL Tech just posted a video today or yesterday where he shows exactly what you're describing, Bill.
Okay.
And I don't know if I want to call it a close call, but it was closer than you or I would ever want to be. He literally moves the camera up on the drone and you see the aircraft. I mean, I don't know how far away it was. Like I said, it wasn't even a close call, but it was closer than you would ever want to be. And the ADS-B said nothing. So, yeah.
Yeah.
You guys see Lauren's comment here? He said adding 360 avoidance will cost a lot more than $100, require a stronger processor, etc. So, I mean, again, we're hoping for something that would, that wouldn't be on a drone under $1,000. I think is where this conversation's going.
So Lauren, will there be a drone coming anytime soon that has that? Lauren, can you give us any?
And I just want to, Bill made my point why the Mavic Air 2 is such a good drone. Look what his issues were. The case, which if you didn't get the fly more kit, you would never know this case. The gimbal guard, which of course everybody sees that, but you're not really talking about the drone itself. You're more like talking about accessories. So that's a great thing. I know what I want to talk about, and I'm just like you, Bill. I'm talking about something that's accessory that if you didn't order the fly more kit, you wouldn't even know this. The ND filters you get with it, they give you a 16, a 64, and a 256. And the 16 is it's like the darkest 16 ND filter I own. And so the other two are going to be almost useless unless you are in some kind of special scenario where you're flying into the sun or whatever. Well, the 256 is for slow shutter photography, like trying to get the motion blur and waterfall, stuff like that. But even the 16 is too dark in most situations. They really cheat us out. We should have got like an 8, a 16, and a 32. So basically, they gave us ND filters, but we still need to go out and get the ND filters we really need because they only give us one ND filter of any real use, and it's too dark. So, but again, it's not really the drone. It's an accessory issue or a packaging with the Flymer kit. So, physically with the drone, I mean, I have almost no place. Somebody mentioned the gimbal in there, and we know it has an issue where if you're flying, people say if you're flying in sport mode, and I'm putting this into the wind, it forces the gimbal to go, face down towards the ground more. I have the same issue with the Mavic 2 Pro. So I just think that's I don't know if it's something they can be fixed except to build a bigger drone with a stronger gimbal on or whatever, or don't fly in any wind, or don't fly in sport mode. So that's small con, but I don't think there's anything they could have really did about that.
Well, it's real interesting here how, our likes were, and this is real interesting, okay? Because I listened to what all three of us had to say, and we were kind of focused on the drone and on the controller for our likes, okay? And our dislikes, like you said, Ron, and this is a great point, they're not really related to the drone or the controller, okay? Where, it's like the app, the bag, the gimbal guard cover, extemporaneous things that aren't really the drone. So, I think to sum this all up, I mean, for all of us, I mean, I think we're kind of in agreement. This has been, for the three of us, it's been a great experience. It really has.
Let me sum it up. DJI got the hardware right in this one.
Yes. That Ron just nailed it right there. They did. They got the hardware right. Let's work on some software here, guys. Okay. Yeah. I mean, we need to kind of up the ante here as far as the software is concerned. So
we need one of these giant firmware updates to come out that does more than just bug fixes.
Yes. Question of the day: what are your 5 best and 5 worst features of the DJI Mavic Air 2? Let me know in the comments section below. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, it's a great day to fly.
Stumbling out of bed, and I still got you in my head. From all those pretty words you said, it's like I'm wasted. Every time I see your face, I'm losing track of time and space. I don't know where I am, it's like I'm wasted, and I won't